Good morning, dear students. In our previous video, we have learned about one topic, the sentence. Okay, there are four kinds of sentences which we have studied. But now we are going to the second chapter of your book, that is subject and predicate. Okay, for the first chapter was the sentence. Now the second chapter is the subject and predicate. Now what are subject and predicate? We have studied about the sentence, but each and every sentence can be divided into two parts. Okay, and what are these two parts? The two parts of one sentence is called, one part is called subject and the other is called predicate. But how to identify or how to recognize these subject and predicate in the sentences? So let's open your book, page number 12, your grammar book, page number 12, chapter number 2, subject and predicate. I am reading here on the first line. All sentences can be separated means divided into two main parts. What are these two main parts? One is subject and the second is predicate. Now read the following sentence. She waters the plants regularly. Waters the plants means what she is doing? She is watering the plant. Plant is an object and she is giving water to the plants. She means she is a girl. So for girls we use she. She is watering the plants, giving water to plants. Or we can say she waters the plants regularly. Regularly means daily. Okay. Continuously she is doing this work. Now, if we divide these sentences into two parts, one is our subject. Subject means the person who is performing this work, who is performing this action. That person is called the subject. Here it is a person, but it may be a thing also. Person, place, or thing. So here we can divide the sentence into two main parts. One is she, because she is doing this work. And what she is doing in this picture? What she is doing? So what she is doing, she is watering the plant. That is the second part of the sentence. The first part, who is doing, and the second part, what is she doing here? So these are the two main parts. Okay. Now, how can we define? If we divide these two sentences, one is subject and the other is predicate. Now, how? Let's understand how. The subject is the part of a sentence. The subject is the part of a sentence about which something is said. Subject is the part of sentence about whom something is said. Something is explained about this person or this thing or this place. So about whom we are talking? We are talking about she. So she is the subject here. And what is the definition of predicate? The predicate is that part of a sentence which tells us something about the subject. This is the part of this sentence that tells us something about her, something about she, what she is doing, or how she is doing, or why she is doing something. These reasons or whatever she is doing, this sentence tells us that she waters the plants regularly. So waters the plant regularly, that is the remaining part of the sentence. But who is doing or about whom we are talking? We are talking about she. We are talking about she. So she is our main subject about whom we are talking. And what we are talking about, the subject, that is the remaining part of the sentence, which is called predicate. So very simple it is to identify that first you select the subject about whom we are talking, then the remaining part is predicate. That's all. So it is very simple. It refers to the verb together with the rest of the sentence. It refers to the verb, means verb. What is the verb? Watering. Watering. Giving the water to plants. That watering is a verb. Action. What action she is performing? She is performing means watering the plants. So watering is a verb here. So along with the verb, the remaining part is called predicate. Subject or predicate may have only one word or group of words. Here you can say in this sentence only one word is acting like subject here, she. This is only one word, but there may be some sentences which have more than one words, means group of words also may be there. Okay, here only one word is subject, but in the next sentences, in the next exercise, we will see that some group of words can also make subject. And predicate can also be only a single word or maybe the groups of words. Here 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 group of words, they combine to make one predicate. Okay, so that depend on the sentences. Let's study the following sentences. You can see in this table, every sentence is divided into two parts. One part is subject and the other part is predicate. So this is a full sentence which is divided into two parts. One is subject and the other is predicate. So now study them. See in your book. This shop opens at 10 o'clock. This shop, my shop. So this shop, it has two words, this and shop. So this shop, these two words together make subject, and the remaining part is called predicate. So what we are for what we are talking about? We are talking about this shop. So this shop is subject, and what we are talking about this shop, that it opens at 10 o'clock. So the remaining part is predicate, and we are talking about shop. So shop is called subject. Next, sentence number 2. We could not hear their voice. We could not hear their voice because they are so far away from here. So we cannot or we could not hear. So who cannot hear? Here, we. We, all of us, we. So we is only one word which acts like a subject here, and the remaining part, what we are talking about, we are talking about we that could not hear their voice, sound, we could not hear. So we is only subject. Now my uncle, we cannot say only uncle, my uncle. So both these words, my and uncle, both is acting like subject. So my uncle is subject, and what my uncle or what is said about my uncle? Bought a new car last week. Who bought? Bought means purchased. Who purchased new car from market? My uncle. So my uncle is subject, and what did he do? He bought a new car last week. So that action which was performed by my uncle is called predicate. So it is very simple. They are neighbors. They, my friends, or anybody, it could be anybody. So they They are neighbors because they live all together in single colony. In one colony they live. One person's house is here, one person's house is in that side. One person live is his house is there. So we all are neighbors. They all are neighbors because they live in same colony. So neighbors. So for whom we are talking about? They. So they means subject, and our neighbors predicate. The tops of the mountain. Have you seen mountains? Okay. Mountains, the mountain ranges, just like Himalayas. Okay. So what are we are talking about? These tops, top points. These the tops of the mountains. So what we are talking about? We are talking about only tops of the mountains. These all are mountains, but we are talking about the top of the mountains. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words. These 5 words, the group of these 5 words, the tops of the mountains, these 5 words together they make subject. And what we are talking about, the tops of the mountains were covered with snow. These are all covered with snow. So we are talking about these tops that they are covered with the snow. So here subject is here the subject is 1 minute. Now here subject is the tops of the mountain and predicate is were covered with snow. So now what is said here? The subject may have only one word or a group of words. Okay, subject may have only one word, just like you can see in here table, that is one word. We, they, these are one word. But this shop, 2 words. My uncle, 2 words. The tops of the mountains, 5 words. So they may be single word or there may be group of words. Sometimes the subject is placed at the end of the sentence. Here we can say in all sentences we are seeing that subjects are on the first position and the predicate is on the last position. But some sentences are there, just like here comes the bus. Here comes the bus means लो बस आ गई, देखो बस आ गई. Here comes the bus. Now what we are talking about? We are talking about the bus. But in this sentence the bus is written at the last portion of the sentence. So the bus is subject and here comes is predicate. So predicate may be at the beginning of the sentence and subject may come at the end of the sentence. It depends on the sentence. So nothing to worry about and don't confuse. Just ask one question, what are we talking about or whom we are talking about? Once you find subject, then the remaining part you can consider as a predicate. Very simple. An imperative sentence. In our previous chapter, we have read that there are 4 types of sentences. What are they? Remind: assertive sentence, assertive declarative sentence, which are only statements. Second is your interrogative sentence, which one is your assertive sentence, then second is your interrogative sentence, third is your imperative sentence, and fourth is your exclamatory sentences. So these 4 sentences which we have learnt in previous video. Okay, now We are talking about this third one, imperative sentence. Imperative sentence means which in which we order somebody, or in which we request from somebody, please help me, that is a request, and do this right now, this is an order. So orders, request, advice, suggestions, these all are comes under the imperative sentence. So in imperative sentence does not have a subject, it only has predicate. Why they don't have subjects? Because the subjects are understood. Understood means we already know, so there is no need to speak or write about. So subject remains understood in these sentences. Just like if I say you thank you, thank you, I am telling you thank you. So here I means that I thank you. But I is, we don't write I, we only write thank you, because I is understood that who is speaking or who is writing, that person is giving thanks. So if I write I thank you, I thank you. So I is subject and thank you is predicate. But when we use this type of sentence thank you, so we don't write I. We just write thank you because I is understood here. Just like open the window. If I am giving order to you that open the window, that it means that there is no need to say you open the window. It is understood that I am talking to you. So why I should tell you here? Without you can, I can also make a sentence that open the door. If I am talking to you means I am ordering you. So why should I start with you open the door? If there are so many students, then I can say that you open the door. But if we are talking only, we are two persons here, so I can directly say open the window, because I am telling to you. So there is no need to start with you. So you is the subject, but it is already understood. So in imperative sentences, generally we don't start with any subject, only predicate is there. So keep in your mind. Now let's come to exercise. Now again I am telling you that these things you need not to note down in your CW notebook. Don't write these things. No need. Only what is needed, you need to start this chapter with only exercises. This is already given in your book. You can again revise it. Whenever your exams comes, you can revise from here and you can learn from here. So there is no need to note it down in your CW notebook. But the solutions of these exercise, this must be written in your CW notebook in your grammar portion. Okay, not in your literature portion, only in language portion. So now let's discuss the exercises. Exercise A. Look at the sentences below and separate the subject and predicate, just like we have done here. Subject and predicate, we separate it. So we need to separate, divide subject and predicate. It's very easy. That exercise. Now how to separate, how we'll separate it? So there is one solution, that I can circle the subject and I can underline the remaining part of the predicate. So we can understand that it is divided. Okay, so for subject I will make a circle. So same wise you can also do. Here I am erasing the box, means I am just going to underline. Okay, like this. So with pencil we can solve in the book. So take a pencil. Don't write anything with pen in the book, okay? Just only use pencils. It is pencil, not a pen. Okay. The first exercise is, these students are very intelligent. Intelligent, very bright, very wise, very clever. So these students, Whom we are talking about? We are talking about students, but these students. So these are two words. So I am going to circle these students and underline are very intelligent. I am underlining, that is predicate. So I am underlining the image. We can I will also send you the snapshots or screenshots of this book, that how I am doing. So same wise you will also do, but with pencil you can do along with me. So these students, subject, are very intelligent, predicate. The peacock is a colorful bird. You might have seen peacock. Yes, the pictures of peacock or real peacock you can see in the zoo or in any bird sanctuaries or wildlife sanctuaries. If you have visited there, so you must have seen that beautiful bird, and that is our national bird, India's national bird. So we are talking about the peacock. So circle the peacock because the peacock is a subject here, and is a colorful bird, underline that because that is a predicate. All the students sang the national anthem. Yes, we have national anthem. Every country has their national anthem. So India, our country is India, so we sing in our assembly prayers daily, Janagana Mana, that is our national anthem. So every student, all the students, these three words are subject. We are talking about all the students. So circle it, and remaining saying the national anthem, that underline it. The computer is very useful machine. The computer, we are talking about the computer. So underline, circle the computer and underline is a very useful machine. It is a predicate. Wireless communication is a great scientific invention. Wireless communication, just like in mobile we communicate wireless, there is no need of wires. Okay, so we can talk. So wireless communication, these two words, wireless and communication, these two words are, we have to circle wireless communication. And what we are talking about, it is a great scientific invention. So underline that predicate. The director of the zoo, who is this person? The director of the zoo showed us two newborn tiger cubs. Tiger cubs, the little babies of tigers, they are called cubs. Cubs. Cubs means the babies of tiger or lion, they are called cubs. So who showed us? The director of the zoo. So how many words are there? There are 5 words. So these all 5 words we need to circle. We are talking about the director of the zoo, so circle it. And what did he showed us? So showed us two newborn tiger cubs, underline this all line, that is predicate. Sunshine lighted up the mountainside. You can see in the picture, these are mountains and mountainsides, and this is the sunshine which comes from the sun, sunlight. Okay, sunshine means sunlight. So lighted up means ujala kar diya. Okay, chamka diya, shines up. So who shines or who lighted up? Sunshine. So underline this single word, sunshine. That is our subject. And lighted up the mountainside, underline it because it is predicate. The Taj Mahal. What? The Taj Mahal. We are talking about the Taj Mahal. Is one of the 7 wonders of the world. Okay, one in our chapter number 2, Alexander the Great. You have seen the picture, the Taj Mahal. So it is the one of the 7 wonders in the world. So we are talking about the Taj Mahal. These 3 words. Circle these 3 words, the Taj Mahal, and underline the remaining part, that is predicate. Success. What? Success. Success comes to those who work hard for it. So success doesn't come to everybody. Success comes to only those person or people, those who are doing hard work. So what comes? Success. So success is only one word, which is our subject. And what we are talking about subject? We are talking about subject that comes to those who work hard for it. Underline this. That is predicate. Every man and every woman present. Every man. Who? Every man and every woman present there. Present matlab those who are here at the present time, who are present in the class or anywhere. So every man and every woman present. These six words up to present, we need to circle it, because these six words comprise one subject. We are talking about every man and every woman present. Then what they did there? Clapped for the home team. Clapped. Taaliyan bajaya. They clapped. What did they do? They clapped for the home team. Home team means the teams to whom they belong. Just like Indian team is our home team, because our home country is India. Suppose Indian team is playing in any international World Cup, okay, and where uh, they are playing the match with the other countries. So our home team is Indian team, because we belong to India, they belong to India. So our home team. Or if the Australian players are playing with Indian team, so for Australia, the Australian team is for their home team, because they belong to Australia. So for Australians, Australia team is their home team, and for Indians like us, our home team is Indian team. So we clap for Indian team. Just like every man and every woman present there, those who were present in the stadium, what did they do? They clapped for the home team. So clapped for the home team, you underline it, and up to present you circle it. Okay. And there is there is some space given here. These all sentences you need to note down here. Here subject in first column and predicate in the second column. So you can do it with the pencil. Now exercise B. Exercise B is add subjects to the following predicates to make complete sentences. Okay. Add subjects means the remaining predicates are given. Now by our mind we can place any subject, okay, to make the complete this sentence. How can we complete this sentence? Just like first, like to play football. Now who like to play football? You can write anybody's name, or you can write any, just like they like to play football, or we like to play football, I like to play football, Ramesh and Mohan like to play football. So any subject you can place here, but it should be plural, not singular. Why? Because with singular subject we use likes. We add as in the verb, likes. Just like she likes, he likes to play football, or Ramesh likes to play football, or he likes to play football, but likes should be there. So if we see there is no s here, only like is there, so it means that subject should be plural, more than one person, more than single person. So I cannot write he plays, he like to play football, it will be wrong. So I can place here any subject, but it should be plural. I, you, we, they, or two or three persons name we can write here. Okay, so they like to play football, you can write we like to play football. Okay, second, is an eminent advocate. You know who is advocate? Who are advocate? Vakil. If you have seen in the courts, okay, advocates, they are uh, they are fighting the case, means in front of judge. They present all the facts about their client. So advocate. Eminent. Eminent means famous. So you can write he is an eminent advocate. You can write the name also, just like Mr. Gupta is an eminent advocate. Okay. Anybody's name you can write here. Was alone in her car. Now who is alone in her car? Her. H-E-R. Her. You know that her is used only for girls, females, ladies only. So the subject should be lady or female. Just like Ria was alone in her car. Seema was alone in her car. So there should be a name of any female, not male. Okay. If there was his car, then you should have used the male, means Ram was alone in his car. His is used for boys, males, but for females we use her. So any, she was alone in her car, you can use. My mother was, or my sister was alone in her car. Any female gender you can use here. Next, is my favorite fruit. Now everybody has a different favorite fruits. Somebody likes mangoes most, somebody likes guavas, somebody likes the oranges, different. So according to your choice, you can write your favorite fruit. Just like my favorite fruit is mango, so I can write mango is my favorite fruit. But you can also write orange is my favorite fruit, watermelon, any fruit you can write by your choice. Fifth one, blank is a wonderful historical monument. Now what is historical monument? Just like Taj Mahal, Qutub Minar, India Gate, the Gateway of India, Konark Sun Temple, all these ancient time buildings. Okay, Lal Killa, Charminar, there are so many thousands of the buildings which belongs to ancient time. Okay, which were built in the ancient time, very past time, thousands of the years ago. Now they are called monuments, historical monuments. So you can write any historical monuments name, just like the Taj Mahal is wonderful historical monument, Qutub Minar, India Gate, any you can write by your choice. Brush our teeth at least twice a day. Now who? R. O-U-R. R is used here. Brush our teeth. R means, we use R means for we, means many of the people. Just like me and my brother or sister or my family, all family members. So R shows that we should use here plural subject. Just like we brush our teeth at least twice a day. I cannot place any singular subject here. Suppose I used I brush our teeth. No, it is not correct. I brush my teeth. With I used my. But with we, I use R. We brush our teeth. Okay. So according to that, you need to apply your mind here also. Okay. Next, 7 number. Turn the page number 14. 7 number exercise. is a kind-hearted woman. Kind-hearted means very, very kind lady. Now we are talking about a woman. So we can write here my mother. My mother is a kind-hearted woman. You can write my aunt is a kind-hearted woman, or my teacher, she is a kind-hearted woman. So you can write any subject here. 8 number, needs a new pair of shoes for school. Now who needs? Who needs? But need and needs, there is a difference between need and needs. Need means जरूरत है, आवश्यकता है. Now need and needs, if you can see, if you can notice, there is one extra letter, that is as. Now need and needs, or like and likes, eat and eats. So these are the different forms of the verb. One is a singular form of the verb, that is a plural form of the verb. But singular form of the verb is used with the plural subjects, and this plural form of the verb is always used with the singular subjects. That is a rule of English. Okay. How we can make any singular to plural? We can just simply add s, just like need, needs. But that is a singular and that is plural. With singular we use plural subject. Okay. And with plural verb we use singular subject. That is a rule. You just keep in your mind always. Just like needs a pair of shoes. Needs means it is a plural verb. So it will come with a singular subject. Means he, she, it, anybody's name. These are singulars. He needs, she needs, Ram needs, it needs. But we cannot say we needs, because we is a plural. So we need, I need, they need, Ram and Riya need, because these are two persons, plural. But he needs, she needs, my mother needs, my brother needs. Okay, these are only singulars. It needs, these are singular. So just like you have to apply your brain here also, that needs a pair of shoes for school, so we can use only a singular subject. Just like Ram needs a new pair of shoes for school, you can write your name. Okay. Is a charming lady. Now who is a charming lady? My teacher is a charming lady, my mother is a charming lady, my sister is a charming lady. Okay, anybody's you can use, but you use the only female genders. Okay, you cannot say that anybody's name, that Mr. Gupta is a charming lady. It will be wrong. Mrs. Gupta you can write, but you cannot write Mr. Gupta. Is an old proverb. Now what are proverb? Kahawat, muhavre. Just you have heard at your home or anybody. So proverbs, there are so many proverbs. So it, we use it for non-living things. So this is a non-living thing. Proverbs are not he or she. They are not he or she. They are, we can use it. It is a singular. It is an old proverb. It is an old proverb. This is a old proverb, you can also say. That is an old proverb, that you can also write. Now come to exercise number C. Add predicate to the following subjects to make complete sense. Now this is a reverse of that exercise, opposite of that exercise. Now the subjects are given, we need to add the predicate. Here the predicates were given and we were adding the subjects only. Just like first, India. India is a subject, but what about India? anything you can say. India is my country, India is a great country, India became independent in 1947. So with starting India you can make any sentence. The computer, again you can start with computer, just like one sentence was given here. The computer is a very useful machine. You can write the computer is useful for calculating calculations. The computer is very useful for aeronauticals or higher engineering, anything you can write. The computer, all men and women, now what they are doing? All men and women are listening him carefully, or are clapping for their victory, or are enjoying the fair in Navgraha ground, Navgraha Mela. You can see the fair. They are enjoying the rides in the fair. Our school is very big. Our school is the best school in the Khargone. Our school is very beautiful or very big. Anything you can write. Our school is the best in Khargone. Anything you can write. The cricket match was very exciting yesterday. The cricket match was very enjoyable yesterday. Anything you can write. An ideal student means a perfect student, a very good student, best student. Now what should be the quality of an ideal student? An ideal student must be punctual. He must come to school on time, or he must be neat and clear, or he must obey his elders or teachers. Whatever you can write, you can make any sentence. Time is very precious. Precious means कीमती, valuable. Time is very precious. Time never comes back. Once any time is passed, it never comes back. Time is very important for everybody. Anything you can make. Many accidents take place on this road, on highways, on this blind turn. You can write anything. The Times of India is a good newspaper. Is an English newspaper. Okay, is a morning newspaper. Anything you can write. My sister is very pretty. My sister is very cute. My sister is very beautiful. Anything you can write. The last exercise is do in pair. Under one part, write half of the sentence and ask your partner to write the other half under part 2. Means half sentence means subject you can write, then ask your partner to write the predicate. Then next turn he writes the subject, he can give you any subject, then you make the sentence with the predicate. So actually we are not in the open classroom, so you can perform this task with your brother and sisters, with your friends at your home, or you can try it with your mother, father, grandfather, grandmother, whoever is free and ready to enjoy with you. So you can spend some time with your parents also, like this. So this exercise number D you need to do only in book. Don't write in the fair notebooks, CW notebook. Just do it with pencil at your home, with anybody at your home. But what you need to note down? You need to note down exercise A. Don't write these questions. Direct write this table. Direct answer. Okay, don't write these questions. Direct write the answers. So only this table you note down in exercise A. Then in exercise B, that you need to note down, and exercise C also you need to note down, but cross exercise D. Don't write in the book, just do it with pencil. So whatever we are solving in the book, all the students, you need to solve it with pencil in the book first, then you note down in the fair CW notebook in grammar portion. Here we end this subject. Okay, subject and predicate. So take care. If you have any doubt, you can WhatsApp me. Okay, thank you.